Good evening. I'm Oral Gibbs, and welcome to Oral Gibbs Live, coming to you live here from World Star Studios at Amsterdam Shopping Center. And this evening, I have with me here in Oral Gibbs Live, Mr. MP Lake. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, Oral Gibbs. First of all, I would like to say a good evening to the televiewers and the people of St. Martin. Good evening. It's a great pleasure to be back again. And this is my first time in a call-in live program, and I'm looking forward to listen to the people and let them see and talk to us.
All right, so thank you for accepting the invitation.
You're welcome.
So it's just about a few days now since you made the announcement that you will be contesting the September 26 elections for Parliament here, and it will be on the US party list.
Yes, Oral. Last week, Sunday, I did with the whole United St. Martin's Party, the USP party, the board, supporters, and the leader, where I did a press conference just to let the general public know for this upcoming election, I'll be contesting it with the United St. Martin's Party, the USP, standing with us.
So how has it been since you made the announcement?
Well, a lot of good, especially for, it's a people's party. So a lot of people comes up to you and say, MP Lake, very good stand, at least you're looking out for us. It's all about us. MP Lake, start putting the St. Martin people first, and those are the good response. And overall, very important to note, and especially to the people, is that the USP party is a party which have a very solid foundation, have a good leader, and it builds to represent the people. And I would like to let the general public know, I'm a person, my main purpose in life is helping people. So it fits right within the party principles.
You had the term that is very popular, back to basics.
Back to basics.
Even Hillary Clinton using that now.
Oh, yes, back to basics. We need to go back to basics. But like my term for this year is to, we're going to have to raise the bar and start putting our people first.
But then, when you look at St. Martin today, a lot of our people are being really sidelined, and they're the ones that, right now, the only ones that really paying taxes. They're the ones that can't get a job. They're the ones that are suffering the most. Many of them are going to bed tonight hungry. Poverty is on the increase on this island, and when our people go to look for a job, they're the last to be hired, and they're the first to be fired.
I fully agree with you, Oral. Just today, just talking to a young professional, a young man which have his own business, he come to me, especially we had a meeting in Parliament today, and he's like, Mr. Lake, the tax person, I went, they gave me an assessment for 30,000 guilders, which I didn't even had much work, and he's a very hard-working young man. And when I see within all of a sudden wanting to pay everything up front, no payment plan and all of those things, and I say, we are really hurting our people, and we need to empower our people. That's why I said we got to start putting our people first and looking out for them, because a lot of them meant well. A lot of them want to work, but we got to give them that opportunity.
But I don't know what's going on, because I had MP Westcott here, Williams, and I said to her that I understand that there's a 30% compliance in payment of taxes. Right. And she said, no, that figure is too low. Now I'm hearing from another MP, I think MP Emmanuel, that it's 2022, and that the Minister of Finance said the same thing. That gets you very angry to realize if there's only 20 or 22% of us paying taxes, what happened to all the other people? So when you're there and you suffer and you're being threatened and you're being harassed and you're trying your best to live up to your obligation, but you understand you're only one of the 22% are paying and the others are getting away scot-free, that gets a lot of people angry.
And that's true, Oral. And I had that discussion with the Minister of Finance. And I have a very good working relationship with the tax office. And I also, especially when you're the small person, you call them and they respond to me. But that's a big concern, because I always tell the tax office, we always go toward the same person who always pay taxes. What about those unregistered businesses. You have a lot of persons operating here in St. Martin, and they're making tons of millions, but we never go towards them. We always focus on the small guy. Then all of a sudden we brings them in, and we tell him, hey, if you don't pay up everything within today or within this month, we're gonna seize all your assets, take away everything. And you can't do that to you. Give them a payment plan. Very important to let the general public too, is that you need to keep up to date with your taxes too.
Right.
Because a lot of us really, we take it for granted, but like they always said, you got to make the tax man your best friend.
But you know something?
Get your taxes together.
And Pele, what you said there is true, but at the same time, I'm going to use myself as an example now because I think I'm being singled out.
Okay.
How is it possible that 5 years ago, 6 years ago actually, you assessed me for 6 consecutive years, one being the other, right, all one time in 2010, and now in 2016 you come back and you assess me 3, 4 years right away one day. That is wrong because I'm paying, I'm filing, all right? If I file, it's the obligation of the government and the tax office to make sure that the assessments are done in a timely manner. Not that you're going to apply 3, 4 years all one time. That's bad government.
No, I agree with you there too, Earl. You see, like I said, I'm a people's person, and I think we need the receivers, tax office, have to have a better communication with their people. 'Cause at the end of the day, you are paying taxes all the time. You are not going anywhere. So basically, instead of, if let's say you're backward in your taxes, sit down with you, come with a good payment plan, instead of taking everything one time out of your salary. Right now, I'll be honest with you.
I don't have a salary, so it's not, that makes it even worse.
Well, the person I met today, he told me, Mr. Lake, I don't have a salary. And they came to me and said, hey, if you don't have a salary, I'm going to take your equipment, your truck and everything. And he said, well, it's best you kill me because at the end of the day, that's my livelihood. And he got very aggressive, but you got to understand, you put that type of person, they put the back against the wall. And that's something he want to pay. He want to contribute, but work with him and work out a good payment plan.
The problem here is this. When our people hear this, most of them sitting at home say, oh, Oral Gibbes talking crap. What is Oral Gibbes speaking about? You got to pay like everyone. That's not the issue here. The issue here is basically this. You file your taxes and you expect an assessment within a reasonable time. But you government do not send you as a tax-paying citizen 3 or 4 years all in one day assessment. That's wrong. And this is the issue here. It's not a matter of paying or not paying and because you're local. No, that's not the issue. The issue here is that you sit back and you hear the Minister of Finance saying all kinds of things, right, and it seems like nobody knows what's going on because one MP says it's 22%, one MP says 30% is too low, it can't be. And you know, MP Sarah Westcott Williams was at one time Commissioner of Finance, and she ran the finance department, so she's knowledgeable, but it seems that we are being screwed. And what is happening, you have an excellent program, Back to Basic, helping people, and at the same time, a lot of the same people that are out there trying to make a living for themselves, they're not going begging the government for anything, they have their own little business. Right. They're being screwed, they're being squeezed by these assessments that are coming in 3, 4, all in one day for 3, 4 years. This is the issue here.
You're right, Oral, and that's why, like I said, I have that continued discussion with the Minister of Finance, but also with the tax office.
The whole thing here, MP Lake, is this. Our people, and the reason why I bring that up is because you have been fighting for all these years. You went into St. Peter's, worked with the community. You went into politics, you speak about back to basics. But it seems like there are people in government that's trying to undo everything that you guys are doing.
You're right.
It's difficult for our own people to survive.
You're very right with that, Oral, and I face it every day. You know, where basically anything you try to do, they try to undermine you. But I always say, you know, once you put your trust in God, nobody could stop you. But then another thing too, Oral, and yourself mentioned it, especially in St. Peter's, because, you know, I came from that that background of St. Peter's. I love St. Peter's. It's like, you know, that's why when I first started St. Peter's Community Council, because I always tell a lot of persons who come to live in St. Peter's didn't come just so. St. Peter's came from a solid, strong foundation of seniors who have worked hard, working class of St. Martin, St. Peter's. And those elders have instilled in us the pride, the respect, the unity, working together. And those are the type of principles when I started the St. Peter's Community Council to pass it on to the next generation. But we still got to continue. We have a lot of work to do still in St. Peter's, and especially the youngsters on the block and the different things. That's why right now I'm looking at starting the district improvement program, which we just had a tender.
What's that?
That's basically where you have, you take it out of the garbage contract, where you give the local boys, give them an opportunity to be a local entrepreneur. Because sometimes you only focus on the big contractors. But the best persons who can clean their district, clean it up, the sidewalks and the streets and everything, is the boys from the same neighborhood. Because they takes pride, they takes thing. If you see, I did it with I gave them a 2-year contract with their trench cleaning. Some of the best clean trenches, and you see up St. Peter's, Soccer Garden, they clean with pride. And a lot of these youngsters, a lot of the people that say, oh, there's no good, they're not looking to work.
But they're working. Opportunity for them.
They're opportunities. And this one here, with the 13 district cleaning, they're going to have 13 local entrepreneurs which are going to work in the different districts, but also hire the boys from on the block to clean the districts. And this is how you empower your people.
But now, MP, like, a lot of people sitting, some people are going to be angry. Why, they're saying, why is it got to be locals?
Well, let me put it this way, because we had our discussion yesterday, who's a local and all of that too. But at the end of the day, you know, you have a lot of persons born right here, ain't going nowhere, and they're still part of things. But you're still looking out for the true St. Martin now. That's why I said in my team, put in our people first.
Yeah, because, you know, the thing about it is, there's this thing now that if you're local at St. Martin, you're lazy and you don't want to work.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's not true.
That's a myth.
Because you said earlier, remember what you said earlier about St. Peter's, and I went to live in St. Peter's when I was 15 years old.
Right.
Left town, went to St. Peter's. And what you said earlier about St. Peter's as a district, hard-working people, I can tell you, that's true. A lot of people worked in Muller Bay in those days.
Yeah, oh yes.
They worked in housekeeping all over. Hard-working people today, many of them are seniors and their children are there. And it shows you people who are dedicated to work in their country. So it gets me very angry when you hear people say, well, locals, they're lazy, that's what. So when you mention now about giving the contracts to all locals, I can imagine that people who don't like to hear that term at all.
Yeah, but I always believe, and that's why I say back to basic approach of empowering your own local people, because I heard the same thing over and over. And sometimes you hear it from your own people. And these are the same people which I used to have given them an opportunity, and I say, if you can do it, why they can't do it?
Right.
Give them that opportunity. If they fail, well, someone else have to give them another chance, because I always believe, to start putting the right people in the right positions, too. Because if I give you an opportunity and you mess up, well, hey, you can't say I didn't give you that opportunity.
Right.
Then someone else have to, you know, a local, give them another local opportunity to move forward.
So in other words, you're saying that you're a man that's looking at giving your people the opportunity to get themselves organized and provide for themselves.
Definitely. And I always believe, like I say, it's all about us, Oral. If we don't take care of our own and stop demising our own, because we love that. We love to put on our own. Yeah. Anything and saying, but I always believe, and that's the principle I was brought up with, taking care of people. Always give them that opportunity, no matter what. Never look down on no one. Give them that chance. And you'd be amazed how many youngsters I give with the trench cleaning. And today, they have big business. And they're doing really good.
So what about the other? I saw somewhere where there's a project of the sewage line hook up to homes. That wasn't done in St. Peter's already?
No, that's a project definite I'm looking forward to, and especially the Minister of Romy is busy. I know they already have the advices in, so we got to start connecting especially on the main road. 'Cause most of the sewage lines is on the main road. We didn't went on the other side roads. So that's coming definitely before election, you know. And that's a project which I sure a lot of people will be very happy of. And like I said, St. Peter's have came a long way, and we still got a lot of improvements to do, but we got to do it together overall. And another thing I would like to let the people of St. Peter's to know too, we got to work together, because you'd be amazed. When you go, like I take a lot of drive, because my mom is right there in the midst of St. Peter's, you know.
Yeah.
Have to go home, get some home-cooked food. I'm sure she's watching the program right now. But it's very important. I was talking to some residents there, and I say, residents, we got to start taking pride too, because of a lot of the household, you see so much garbage around. People don't clean the yards no more. They wait for government to do everything. And I saying to myself, we got to come together and let me do a cleanup campaign and clean up the whole of St. Peter's. And that's something which I work very closely with the community council, because I have a very young, active community council, but you got to work with them.
But you started that with some others a few years back, right?
Yes, I did. Mr. Rolando Tobias, also Valerie Brazier, also Maurice plays a major role. We had a very strong group. You had Martin Borough, you had Richardson, and you know, it was a very good group.
So there's also, I saw something today that I got to ask you, because there was a release out too on a parking lot that's being built there, Camshaw, and there was some criticism too about that. Are you surprised?
Well, this is the time you get a lot of criticism, and one thing overall, you know, criticism is good too. You know, sometimes you look at it in a very objective manner. And when I saw the criticism, sometimes they have a petition out for, let's save the parking lot. But if you look at it, or look at Simpson Bay parking lot, and especially the sidewalks too, when it rains, if you see the mud and the tourists and them, some of them struggling to go through the mud and everything, and all you want to do, because you still can go to the beach, you still can, the sidewalks, there's so much pool of mud, all you want to put some nice bricks so that you can refresh the product and make it easier for people to walk. It's more better access to go to the beach, and also to have a parking where it's lit, it's safe, and you know, you're gonna hear all kind of things. Someone just mentioned, and I was reading the editorial today, and they were like, leave it as it is. When you leave it as it is, they tell you, hey, you're doing nothing. Well, look how it looked terrible. And then you have the FCCA, which is the cruise line industry, is coming and say, hey, we need to refresh the product. We need to do something new, especially in the areas of Phillipsburg, which we're doing the upgrading of Front Street and Back Street. You know, make it more handicap accessible. These are things, you know, the people don't talk about, but this is a plus. Now we want to do something in the different districts, which Simpson Bay Strip. You know how it is for a lot of people exercise in that area. You want to make it much easier, safer, because a lot of people get knocked down in that area too. You want to make sure that they have a safety. And yeah, you know, you're going to hear critics. But one thing, Aurel, I always say, and I always, well, a critic, you never see a statue built in honor of a critic. So you got to do something too, because sometimes you just criticize, but at least do something too.
No, you know, when it rains, just a little, if a little rain just fall, that area is underwater. So at least if there's an area to park, it makes it a lot easier. Now we're coming into the off season now, but during the winter season, tourist season, Simpson Bay, Cold Bay, because that area, Simpson Bay, Cold Bay, is busting with cars. So it's going to come in very helpful for the coming season.
Definitely. And you have to put better structure there too, because one thing I observe a lot too, a lot of persons from the French side, sometimes on the Dutch side, they walk the dogs there, and they just, you know, they do the thing there on the beach, and you know, it needs to be more structured too. Sometimes they drive the cars right up on the beach, and you need to put a better structure in place.
But you know, we gotta start to look at our laws, and we should have a law that if you're walking your dog, you gotta pick up after your dog.
Yeah, definitely. You know? I think that's something, you know, we need to really put out there for the general public, you know.
Yeah, because I see.
Don't litter.
The problem is, you see, a lot of Europeans come here, they know they can't do it in Europe, they know they can't do it in some places in America, and they come to St. Martin to do it. And there's one gentleman living in Bel Air. This is the first time I've seen anyone of the 26 years that I've been living in Bel Air. This young guy, he's walking his dog, and he's walking with a plastic bag, and he stops and he picks up the poop from the dog. The only person that does it in Bel Air. No one else does it. They just walk the dogs all over. So I hope that maybe after September 26th.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of little things, you really got to put into place.
Yeah. Because I think on the French side, they have some laws where you're not.
Oh, yes. On the French side, they cannot do that.
Yeah.
But here on the Dutch side, we really got to look at those things. Because all of those things put a like disease or something. You got to be careful how you just do things just abrupt.
So now let me ask, when it comes to Simpson Bay Strip, are you all looking into it, looking to see what could be done to improve that? No, since you all start on the parking, what about the road and the sides of the road? Any plans for that?
Yes, that's also in the making. The ministers right now looking at and when they come on the drawings for the area and so. Not only that, if you look at where the name of the Atrium Hotel.
Yeah.
They have so much water in that area. There's always a flood in that area. So we're looking at that area too to see how you can put a proper drainage for not only the residents, but also the visitors in the area. So you want to upgrade that whole entire area. One thing too, Oral, and sometimes we forget that too, you also have the old Simpson Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
It's right behind of the atrium right there. And if you see today, all grew up in grass and it's all forgotten. And that's something, that's our monument. That's something we really, and that's why I say go back to basic, take care of those historical sites, put something new to it. And that's something also which I'm going to pay very attention to with the minister, work along with the minister to make sure that it materializes.
Now, when it comes to Simpson Bay, are there going to be guys cleaning the district in Simpson Bay too?
Like I said, it's 13 districts in all of the different districts. And you're going to have, and the good thing about it is that you give that opportunity to the young professionals in that area. Because one thing we don't teach our youngsters and our locals, you can also set up your own business. Why you can't be a local entrepreneur? We have a lot of people come here, and if they come here from different countries, come here with nothing. And today they are millionaires. Why we can't do it? Why?
Look, I don't want to, I don't want to I'm not putting you in the spot here, but I see your sincerity. I see what you want to do for our people. But you know what? In all due respect, civil servants and people working in government, when it's a local person that go for a license, they harass them. They make it very, very, very difficult for you to get your license. And when the time comes to get a name, it's supposed to be 2 or 3 days. And I'm telling you from experience, they have weeks and months. And then people want to get paid by the person who's trying to open up a license, start a new business, when the person don't have much money. So that when you look at it right now, if you're a local St. Martin born person, all the cards are stacked against you. This is not your fault. This is the fault of what's going on now in this corrupt system that we have, that people from outside are given all the opportunities to start a business very quickly, and our people, the same people that you're fighting for here tonight, they are catching their ass.
Yeah. And I agree with you also, Aurel, but you see, like I said, the way how it's brought up, and I thank my mom for that. Like I always say, any decision you do or make, always put yourself in that person's position. Because you'd be amazed, like today self, this afternoon, I met a senior citizen from up, she lives in Soccer Garden. And she thanked me so much because, and I said, Mom, let me tell you something. You don't know behind the scene how much you got to go just to get a little light, or just in the neighborhood so that the safety aspect. But you got to, like you're fighting against your own people to get it done. A simple thing. And here we are saying we are for the people. And you'd be amazed, sometimes late developments or something you want to do for the people, it's so much a struggle. So I go through that on a daily basis, but it shouldn't be like that. Because at the end of the day, like yourself said, if it's someone else, they do it in a second. But you got to treat everyone equally.
And so you see what happened is it discourages our people from going into business because then they give up or they don't continue anymore, you know. And then in the long run, we look around, we say, well, we have very little of few st. Martin people in business, not realizing that we ourselves have caused that, you know, in how we deal with our own people, you know. So, I mean, I give an example. I had Minister Lee here the other night.
Right.
And I asked him, what about the new hospital? And I asked him, where are they going to build it? And he said, well, you know, that's a problem because we have no land. And then I thought about you and the forced property and how you basically was crucified for that.
Oh, yes.
I don't know how you feel about that now when you look back now, when you see that government took the land and gave it away for $1 guilder.
Well, you see, that's the same situation there where, like I said, there's not much land still available. So sometimes when you go in the market, you're going to get a prime location, but the price might be high. But at the end of the day, you don't have much land remain. So you have to take the opportunity, and that's something which I get a lot of blows for, still get blows for. And some people think, oh, you maybe get something under the table or this and that, but it's for the people. And then at the end of the day now, here you have the previous government give it to APS for $1 to build affordable housing, which, you know, I always support affordable housing for professionals, and I find it's a good project too. And it's something which definitely will be launched before elections. And you know, it's all for the professional. But you get so much criticism and everything. And like I say, you know, I try with my. Sometimes they say, Maurice, you got some broad shoulders, but I try my best. You know, it's not easy.
You couldn't buy more land and throw in the hospital there.
Yeah, I should have done that.
How you feel about the government that you support now?
I feel good about the government I support. Number one, when I first joined the party, and I you know, I always thank Mr. Franz Richardson too, the leader of the United St. Martin's Party, because I told him in the beginning, you hear all kind of rumors, Maurice break government. I didn't break no government in the beginning, but then at the end, and I said, you know, I took so much, and what the previous government took away from me, especially the leader too, you take away my strength, and my strength is helping people. And when we stop focusing on general interests and we start focusing on self, then you have an issue with me. And my whole strength, and that's, I always thank the leader of the USP, because, you know, he's a very straightforward gentleman. I say, Francis, once I comes in here, let's work for the people. I'm not going to play around with anything. And I never had when I think of working with the National Alliance government, and especially William Marlin, you have the leader of the Democratic Party. But William Marlin is a good person. And, you know, sometimes I say to myself, you got to really get to know a person. And he really want to see the best for St. Martin too. And you have MP Madam Chair Lady Sarah Westcott too. But they meant well. And that's all I want, because at the end of the day, the honest way you can build a nation is we all work together. We can't look at it of William Marlin, because St. Martin is not about Maurice Lake, it's not about William Marlin, it's not about Sarah Westcott, it's not about France, it's about the people. And we have to work together.
But also at the same time, MP, you know, it's not about projects, it's about all people getting jobs.
Yes, I agree with you.
I've had some issues with the projects, because the projects really, our people did not get jobs in most of these projects. They were given to people from outside, millions of dollars spent on huge projects, and that's not for our people. So that's my.
But you see, that's something I had with the previous government, which I was the minister in charge of me, which had, thanks to the government of St. Martin, to purchase the Emilia Wilson estate. But that's a project for the people. But then all of a sudden you have where to give it away to rainforest. You know, and I say to myself, that's not the purpose when the government bought it, but you know, that one really hurt my heart. But at the end of the day, it's a good project, what Rainforest is doing, because it's something you need new tours and everything, and it's a plus. But you don't get the entire estate away. because that estate also have a lot of, how will I say, it's a lot of history, heritage,
That's our culture, man.
It's culture, and you don't give away your culture.
Yeah.
But I always said, you know, it's good to sit, since you already done it, but sit down with Rainforest. Let me see how we still can work together and still make it a project for the people. And they're willing to work, so, you know, you try to correct it some kind of how. But you see, there was so much given away. And you can't give away what, you know, we don't have much, but we're still giving away.
Yeah, we're giving away to the wrong people. And then when it comes to all people, we don't give it to all.
We don't give it to all one.
We had a lot of discussion over the last few weeks about the garbage dump. Just this week, I also asked Minister Lee about it. How you feel about the garbage dump?
Well, Oral, you know, when I was a farmer minister, especially, I started the process started before me, but at the end of the day, we had a steering group, a steering committee, which did the tendering of the project itself. You have where basically you come to a draft concession agreement, but it was never signed, so you never had no legal binding with any company. There was an issue with the PPA, which this company was discussing with Gibbes, but they never came to an agreement. Then all of a sudden, government changed. Basically, now you have the Minister of Romy and the Prime Minister. They had a trip in the States. They visited several different companies for waste to energy. The Minister also make a press briefing, which he said he's ready drafting up a MOU to sign with this U.S. company, which is a 500 Fortune company. And they also is a public entity, and they, imagine, or they have about 44 waste to energy plants around in the U.S. So this is a very recognized company, and they don't go with no, you know, as a 500 Fortune company, there's no underhands. You know, if you read the social media and Facebook, you know, everyone, they're talking about, oh, I wonder what's in it for him, or what the minister's getting. This company is, you know, that's their field. They love the thing. They're going to finance it, they're going to build it, and they're going to manage it. And all they're saying, give us the opportunity, and the price is going to be good, the PPA with Gibbes. So, you know, that's a good opportunity there to especially address the dump which need to be addressed. But very important too, Aurel, and for the general public too, we need to start recycling too. Yeah. It's very important that we start recycling. And the minister, he already behind the scene getting everything together to really start recycling within the dump, but also educating the general public to start at home recycling. You know, I always say when you go by right down in Phillipsburg, you see a big recycling bin where you can dump, you know, the bottles, all the different ways. And that's something we need to start educating our people.
Well, it's going to be quite a process because we're not accustomed to it. And we have to provide also the facilities for people. Right. And they can start at home, so they'll take all the bottles in one bag, what have you, to the site. You know, if that's done, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, that's something definite I will encourage, and especially start as soon as possible, because we need to start recycling. But it's very important for the general public, and especially the Facebook lovers, because when you really hear the critics and who get what, and the minister and the former minister, and I'm saying, guys, listen, there's one thing I always say around. You know, you might catch me or anything else, but you don't hear Maurice Lake take up anything or under the table dealing or anything like that. I always pride myself, and I do it because of having respect for my mom, and especially my brothers and my children. Because at the end of the day, you got to do things right. I'm not perfect, but I try my best to follow the good line.
You know, we have a problem on this island that if you are local again, and you are successful, or you have a successful business, or it appears you're doing well, then you're doing something illegal.
It's true.
And we as locals, we don't qualify to do anything right good without something illegal. And I think we got to get that crap out of our minds, you know. And that's the reason why early when we started the program, I was telling you about the situation, because I realized that everyone I speak with, especially local people that are in business, how they are really stifled and harassed, and I hope that that will change, you know. And you're just an MP on your own, but I mean the whole government needs to really look out for people the way you're looking out. You have one, you're looking out, others are looking out. The leader of the US Party too has done a remarkable job of looking out for people. That's what people vote for a government to care about them.
Yes, and that's why my team for this year overall is like say raising the bar. We need to raise the bar. But we also need to start putting on back. We gotta go back to basic, but you need to raise the bar too. Raise the bar, but also put your people first.
Yeah.
And there's which part the people are suffering. You gotta get job opportunities for them. You also have to look for affordable housing. Give them that opportunity, you know, to live just like others. Because you can't call yourself a very effective leader or doing a good job and your people suffering. It don't mix. Or we focus on self-interest and the general interest of your people, which is your strength. We don't take care of them.
Yeah. But let's open up the lines of 5422170 is our telephone number, 5422170. We have MP Lake. He's my guest this evening here on our Oral Gibbes Live, and he's taking your calls at 5422170. We have a question coming for the MP. When you look at the island and how this island is, you know, this is still a very, very good island. We have a lot to be thankful for. When you compare us with our neighbors around us, St. Martin is still a very good island.
Oral, when you see, and especially I learned so much, not learned much because I know what was all about, when you had the FCCA inside of Parliament, and they were saying how St. Martin is ranked number this in the world. St. Martin is a blessed place. We know exactly what we need to do, but sometimes we just got to stop the petty politics, the childish politics, and focus on the little things, what makes a big difference.
Yeah. I think I'll call for you. Oral Gibbes Live, you're on call. Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm listening to the MP Lake. He's very good. I always admire him. And during the program, you said that they say that the St. Martin people don't like to work. Now, just this morning, a lady told me that she had a quarrel with a young lady working at the labor office. And this because this lady told her son, who is a local St. Martin boy of 21 years, and he had applied for the job, he went to the labor office. And he said this lady told his son that he must understand that the company will not give him the full salary and I had to laugh when she said that, when they can pay foreigners less than the minimum wage. And I don't think this lady lied. And I would like to get in contact with the minister, the MP, so that I could tell him who the person is, so we can go further and deal with these kind of things. Because if he is out there fighting for the locals and trying to get them to do things, and in the labor office itself they're telling them this, then it's something that's very, very wrong.
Wow. In the labor office that was, sir? At
the labor office. That's what the lady told me. And knowing her, I know she didn't lie.
Wow.
Well, so definite. I have my office at the Parliament, and you can pass by tomorrow morning itself. I'll be there from 9, and definitely I would like to sit with you and look into that.
By the way, I keep hearing you talk about your mother. I prefer you say your parent.
Yes, like I say, I love my dad, but my mother is my rock.
But your dad was my friend.
No, my dad, I love my dad. Like I said, I love him to death.
Tell anybody that's a decent person.
It's true. It's true.
Anyway, you're doing fine. Continue.
Thank you, and thanks.
Thank you, sir. That's you see, here again, that gentleman called, I know who's calling, and he's a very respectable gentleman.
Okay.
He's not going to say something if it's not true, and these are the things that are setting back our people and even making your work more difficult.
That's true. That's true.
So you're trying to build up our people, and our own people trying to bring them down. Let me take a call for you, MP. Oral Gibbes Live and call. Hello.
Yes, Reverend Oral. How are you tonight?
Good evening. How are you doing, sir? Good to hear your voice after all
I'm not
these
too good
years.
as you, and good evening also to your guest, Mr. Maurice. I assume you know who that's on the phone. And all right.
Yes, sir.
What I would like the government to do, or the members of parliament, right? The seniors, seniors pay tax already, right? And I find they should try a way to do the to look into it that the seniors do not pay any tax on the small portion of money
Of the little
they get
pension, yeah.
the pension.
Yeah.
You know, I don't find that. What another thing again, the people and them who are working, yes, they got to pay the fair amount of taxes, and the same way they killing World Star Studio with tax, and other big companies getting away with murder when it comes to paying tax. But people like World Star Studio, I guess you know World Star Studio, and other people cannot escape because they know where you live.
Yeah, no, I don't want to, and I don't want to escape. We don't want to. We want to pay our fair share, but we.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. We don't pay our fair share, but why they keep killing the people living on the island, and big company always getting away? I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
And I think you all have to put things in place to help the people that living on the island, who have business on the island, and spending money on the island.
Right.
Maurice, you're doing a good job, and I'll go back by you tomorrow morning. I have other things to discuss with you. All right?
All right.
A long time I haven't called your show, but
No.
you have Maurice back to let me call.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
thanks.
All right, take care and enjoy it. I will continue enjoying the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. And definitely something like you say, we need to put those little things in place, you know, especially for our seniors, because they are our backbone.
Right. And you know, they're getting a little pension, then they got to pay
Yeah,
out.
you know,
no,
it's
they're
not-
killing it, right?
not easy.
They're going to call. If you Oral Gibbes Live, you call. Hello? Is there a caller? Oral Gibbes Live.
evening to you.
Good evening. You're on live, caller.
Right?
Yeah, you're on live. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I just called to tell the minister keep up the good job he's doing and keep fighting for the people, because in whatever he's doing, he's on point and he's on target. And it's about time now that things have to start happening for the young people of St. Martin, because we are really sick and we are really tired. So the best thing possible to happen, please, Mr. Minister, keep doing, doing what you're doing as a parliamentarian, and keep looking out for the people of St. Martin, and definitely the okay? And I will you to keep doing the good job, and God bless you guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks very much. And I definitely will continue, as I say, putting our people first.
Okay. Oral Gibbes Live, you're on caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you're on live.
Oral,
Yes?
this is a friend of Mr. Lake up to now. I hope that things do not go the way the politicians go, that they're speaking about the people, which I had full respect for Mr. Lake, and I hope he don't let me lose it.
Yeah.
That after election is over and you vote for that person forget your name. I was one to call politicians, tried to embarrass me one time in a crowd, telling me I vote for the other person, I didn't vote for him, as if he paid me to vote for him. Because of sympathy, I voted for the president last time. So I hope that Mr. Lake will keep the good work. I have full respect for him up to now, but I hope he will keep it up. Okay?
All right.
Good night.
Thank you very much, caller. And like I said, you know, my purpose in life, in politics, out of politics, is helping people. So, you know, that's what I did all my life.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it's and what he's saying there is so important. You see, there's a new breeze blowing across this island, where for too long, too many of our own people have been forgotten.
Yeah, it's true.
And that they don't see anyone really looking out for them, offering them opportunities. And we're seeing it now in the case of you and Roman,
right.
where youngsters are getting the opportunity to get involved and make money like everybody else.
It's true. And Oral, let me share something with you. And always in the back of my mind, one time I was over the bank and I met this Haitian gentleman. He was like in his 60s, 70s. And, just talk with him, and he said, do you know who built the government building right next to the police station? I wasn't even born, I don't know. I said, I really don't know. Do you know who built Najiko and also the Rahul village? I said, I really don't know. And this Haitian gentleman, he said, I was part of that. And with a lot of pride, But he said, today, I have Dutch passport, everything, but I even don't have a doctor card. And they forgot you. And these are the people, we have to look out for, because they are forgotten. We have a lot of forgotten people here in St. Martin.
Yeah. When you look at St. Martin and the people of St. Martin, the people are really good people. All people are kind-hearted. In fact, it's our kindness that got us into this mess in a way, because everyone coming and now just push us aside.
No, you're right on that, Earl. And like I always said, this is a time we gotta stop, look up to our people, because to me, I always believe we don't give our people the opportunity to grow. We always criticize. I don't know why, but we gotta start having confidence in each other and to do the job.
Oral Gibbes live in caller. Hello.
Yeah, Earl Gibbes, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Lake, how's everything?
Yes, good evening.
Mr. Lake, your father name is Mooch, or what is his correct name?
Gordon Maurice Lake, better known as Mooch.
Mooch, right. Now, your mother is named Mercedes, that's correct?
Correct.
Yeah, well, I know Mercedes pretty well, and the family knows Mercedes well, because years back she used to live with us. And I haven't seen her in a long time, so just tell her that the Kennedy family send love to her. And we haven't seen her for a long time, and I know well. I know you, I know Mooch, I know the tennis player, what's his name again? Your brother?
Tennis, yes, correct. Tony Lake?
And that's on behalf of the Kennedy family.
Oh, yes.
One.
Yes.
Two, you did mention about cleaning up the certain areas and so forth. What is the problem with all these drains that you could see still a lot of water in it, and that's a breeding ground for the mosquitoes? You have there's a place over by the Marlin, there's one in the middle region, there's certain places that drain, the water still stays there, and they're creating a lot of mosquitoes and so forth. Does anything could be done on that? Because I think the Minister Lee wants everybody to clean up their yard, but he's not cleaning his mess.
Yeah, okay.
Those drains sometimes have a lot of water, and those are ones that breed all the mosquitoes. So I'd like you to look into that there by Mr. Marlin. The original thing. There's a drain there, always full.
Okay.
And smells. And the water seems like it's not running. So I'd like you to look into that, because that's also a tourist attraction. People just pass there, everybody just pass there. And it's not a nice look.
Is that the arch road that you're talking about?
Yes, correct. But
that is correct. There by Marlin.
Yeah,
okay.
The curve, right in the corner.
Right by the curve. Always things, water don't run. There's hazards for mosquitoes. And there's the one that's at Belvedere too. The one there in that lawn that just built. Always got water in it, always full, and then the water don't run.
That's true.
So something could be done on that. Look at it on a monthly basis. Liquid could you run there? It looks real terrible.
Mr. Kanagita.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Kanagita, thanks very much for definitely. I will look into it. I will let the Minister of Romy put his team to make sure look at it. And I'm very familiar with that area there. But also I'd like to say to Mr. Kanagita is like family, especially my brother, which is a tennis pro.
Yeah.
And, they go way back. And thanks very much. I will look into it for sure.
Yeah, and the other one, I think you all have passed a law about these plastic sacks from the supermarket. They're still doing the same thing. And you look at all the garbage, and you look all around, these plastic sacks people are still using them.
Yeah.
And that's a hazard too.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we pass a law, we should follow up on it.
No, that law there, definitely, this MP Franz Richardson and Yanchi Leonard, they are the two who were spearheading that law, but it still need to be finalized. But it definitely is something we need to look into, especially with all of those plastic sacks,
Yeah. All over the place.
But I'll take note of it and follow up on it.
All right.
Some supermarkets, like in Cold Bay, if you go to the supermarket, you must bring a bag, as they don't give you nothing.
Yeah.
It's true.
you got to put the things in that bag and bring your things home.
But the other
While they
time,
do that,
the other time, Mr. Kennedy, they only have a minute left. I want to give it to the MP.
okay, go ahead. Okay, thanks.
All right,
thanks very much.
Thank you.
Maurice, all the best. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to follow up with the minister so that we can look into those little things, what makes a big difference within the community.
All right, so MP Lake, we have just about 50 seconds in closing.
Earl, all I want to say, thank you again. Like I say, it's good to talk to the people because sometimes you need to listen to them, but also follow up on the little issues what make a big difference. And we only can do this together because certain things, my field mostly, I look out for the general interest of the people, but you need to go to the respective ministers so that they can do also follow up on certain things also.
Yeah.
So all I'm telling the people of St. Martin is to give me the opportunity to serve you, and I would like to thank you again for that opportunity, but it's all about us, and we got to work together to make St. Martin better. Thank you, Earl, and I appreciate it very much being part of this program.
And thank you for accepting the invitation and much success.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for now. I'll see you next time right here on Earl Gibbs Live. Until then, good night. Take care. Bye.